Alrighty, hello everyone, and welcome to a brand new Restless stream. Here we are streaming some Mario Kart Double Dash here for you on YouTube. Thank you for joining us. And we're going to get started as soon as I can get a working controller. So let's see if we can get that configured. If not, I'm going to do a quick controller swap. Oh, never mind, we're working. Alrighty. So I hope everyone is having a good night, a good Thursday night. I don't usually stream midweek, but here we are. Figured I'd jump on some Mario Kart Double Dash for a bit of a change. Something slightly different. I'm going to do 150cc. Give me some random characters. Now, I grew up playing this game for a very long time. I got my Nintendo GameCube when I was, I would say, 8 years old. And I got it for Christmas 2004. So it was something that I begged my parents for probably for a while. It was either that or a PS2. I was kind of like, please get me a fucking a newer console, because our previous console was a Nintendo 64 and it just randomly died on us. I'm just going to keep going random until I get a combination that I like. It's the great thing about this game. You can have some odd pairings. But yeah, I was begging my parents for a GameCube because we had a non-functional N64, which, I mean, I was 7 years old or 8 years old, so I don't really remember what was actually wrong with it. I think I'm happy with these two. Yeah, have no idea what was actually wrong with it. But when we did realize that it was broken, it was very much kind of a drought when it comes to video games. So yeah, I was very keen to get back into it. I am using a PS4 controller with this, and before you ask, yes, I am emulating. Oh god. Let's see how this goes, emulation. Glad I do have a PC that is able to run Dolphin, because Dolphin is, for some reason, a taxing... I'm trying to figure out what the fuck... Alright, use item. There we go. It's kind of a taxing emulator. It isn't a Project 64. It's its own beast. I used to use Project 64 a lot, but I found that it was always sort of unreliable with some games, but better with others. So it was kind of inconsistent, Project 64. Now, I'm hoping some audio is coming through at the moment, but if not, all good. You can listen to the soulful sounds of my voice, if you can. But if there are any audio issues, please put them in a chat so I can have a look and we can sort those out straight away. But let's see here. Okay, so that was pretty rubbish. I feel like I can do better than that. Okay. Alrighty. I used to be amazing at this game, and I'm probably much better with it with a GameCube controller than I am with a PS4 controller. But yeah, I used to play the shit out of this game. It was something that I constantly put on and would just play the 16 race tour, or the 16 All Cup tour is what it was called. But yeah, it was kind of like this thing that I could mindlessly do for about an hour and then just go on to something else. But it was like just amazing to turn my brain off and just play Mario Kart Double Dash non-stop. He's going to throw that backwards. I know it. Oh god, I fucked myself there. I'm definitely not showing that I'm fucking good at this game. Definitely not. Oh god. Oh wow. This game tends to have like the good kind of chaos that I believe Mario Kart desperately needs. I mean, actually no, not to say that it doesn't have that, because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe definitely has that. And I do love popping on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, every so often. I'd say it's a really good entry. Fuck me, I'm doing awful. Let's see. Okay. Alrighty, are we getting audio now? I think we are. I'm gonna turn that shit down. I'm hoping that is at a appropriate volume for you guys. And if not, all good. Much, much better. Not just dead air while I'm talking. Classic track, Baby Park. Classic lazy track, but there's literally no better track. Even though it is very lazy in its design. Nice. I'm actually sort of curious to see what Nintendo could sort of do next with Mario Kart. I've been wanting them to sort of bring back some sort of double dash mode for a long time, because I feel like they... Fuck. I feel like it can work in modern Mario Kart. They don't have to do it with like a sequel. I think just bringing it back as its own sort of game mode. You know, if you had 50cc, 100cc, 150 mirror, and then you had double dash or something like that. I know it's not that easy, because I understand that a lot of kart designs go into it. But yeah, it's... I think it's a really good concept that's kind of... I hate to see it just sort of left in the dust and not really used, because I think it is worth revisiting. Fuck me, I'm terrible. Damn it. Alrighty. Looks like we're experiencing some connection issues, and I imagine you're... Hopefully your stream isn't buffering. But if not, let me know, that's all good. It seems like we're okay, but I guess we're gonna find out. Alrighty. Let us fucking continue, yes? So I've lost my chance to actually win this. But that's okay. One thing I do love about this game is watching the speedruns. If you ever do have a spare 9 hours, watch some Mario Kart speedruns. Any Mario Kart, doesn't have to be Double Dash, but it is something to behold, seeing people just chain boosts like it's nothing. You know, at one point I was good at this game, and I probably could have tried to do some speedruns at it. But I was never good enough to do that sort of chain boosting. Yeah, look, yeah, I'm fucking awful now. How I wish I was like fucking 10 and had all the time in the world. I keep hitting the trigger by just as like muscle memory, because usually in racing games the trigger is go, but I have to hold down X. Alright. All good. But yeah, speedruns are a sight to behold in general. I've been really into watching speedruns of sort of unusual games, because I know a lot of people kind of watch like Mario Kart 64, or you know, general platformers or games that kind of facilitate speedrunning a lot easier. But I do enjoy watching speedruns of like first-person shooters or games that are very story-focused and require you to actually sit through cutscenes and things like that. And maybe not popular on the speedrunning scene, because I know there's a lot more popular games than, you know, Wolfenstein: The New Order or something like that. Yeah, it's gonna happen, eh? Alrighty, stream connection's gone poor again. YouTube is telling me. So it is a good night to stream. This is what happens when you stream. When you stream midweek. I fucking bottleneck every time. Alright. Well, I'm just gonna have to soldier on and hope that it's still good. But if it isn't, I'm sorry. I know I apologize so much. It's back to excellent now, apparently. They have deemed the stream as good quality now, YouTube. Yeah, third is rubbish, eh? I was hoping to smash through this so I could get the 16 cup tour, or 16 track tour, I should say. It's not great. That's not great. That's pretty good. I'll take that. Alright, Flower Cup. I do tend to favour the smaller characters, small to medium. I actually don't really like the large characters in this game. Other than DK, I think is my exception. Because if you have DK and Diddy Kong, you can just spam those giant bananas all fucking game. It's great. And there's very little item balancing. So you just keep getting them. The game just keeps giving them to you like it's just a green shell. It's pretty incredible. Nah, I wanted to... Alright. Yeah, I have a good feeling about these two. These are much better characters. With a much better cart. Alright. I guess it kind of works for these guys too. They always seem to get their special items. One thing I did enjoy, if you haven't seen it already, Scott the Woz did a sort of a video essay on this game. I guess they are kind of video essays. His whole content is. But yeah, he did a really great job sort of covering this game in general, and he's covered all the Mario Kart games. But if you haven't already, check it out, because it is actually a really nice video. Maybe because he has a nice opinion of the game, and therefore I actually appreciate his opinion more, because it aligns with mine. Who knows? Alrighty. Let's continue. Ugh. It is stonking in here. It is a easy breezy 30 degrees or something like that. It is going to be a great time trying to sleep tonight. Okay. Fucking dog. There we go. I do actually, when it comes to streaming, I do actually kind of want to stream on actual hardware. I do actually want to use the consoles that these games are on. I do have an Elgato, and I have the original Elgato Game Capture HD, which has like a component or composite sort of adapter that you can use for older hardware. But yeah, I actually really want to do that. It's just a matter of putting down the time to set all that up, because I understand that's probably going to be a bit of a trial and error trying to configure everything and make sure it's all good for a stream. But not just streaming, also recording as well. Like, I'd love to hook up an actual GameCube to this, and like, kind of, it just makes it feel more authentic that I'm actually using hardware as opposed to emulation. Like, I love emulation, like the simplicity of it, but I do love gaming on actual hardware. I feel like you miss something when you're just constantly streaming. Fuck. I got it. I'm fine. I don't know. You miss something. Yeah. I just feel like it definitely needs something more. And yeah. I really do want to like hook up a fucking Xbox, or actually hook up something like a Dreamcast. Well, I guess a little bit about myself. I am a game collector. I collect games sort of casually. If I feel like I want to try something, I will go out and buy it. I feel like I'm a modest game collector, and by modest I mean I don't spend exorbitant amounts of money on things. I do try and find the cheapest possible way to buy a particular game. Here in Australia we have a chain of pawn shops called Cash Converters. Now, the wonderful thing about Cash Converters is that they have an online store, and they have locations all across Australia, quite a number of locations actually, and they don't just do video games, they do all sorts of stuff. So I've bought all different types of equipment from them. Like I actually bought my webcam that I'm using to stream right now on Cash Converters, just because it was used and it was fairly cheaper. It was cheaper than that webcam brand new. I think the webcam brand new was like $250. I saved $100 buying it used, so I just went through it that way. But the great thing about Cash Converters is they list multiple items, so each store has each retail store has their own sort of online store section of the website, and they tend to list items like the same item. So say for example, one store might have Mario Kart Double Dash listed at $80, and then another store might have it listed at $70. But both listings will show up there. It won't be just the one listing, it'll be both. So that goes for any item. Their online store is basically just a free-for-all. They kind of just put on whatever the fuck they feel like. And it's not a case of them putting everything that they have in store on their online store. It's a case of, if they don't think it's going to sell in store, they'll chuck it online. Because there's plenty of times where I've walked into a Cash Converters and seen something there that, like, I know for sure was not on their online store, and I've been like, what the fuck, why haven't you listed this online? This would have been like an easy sell. but it's such an obscure thing that, you know, it would have had a lot more interested buyers if it was more widely known that it was there, as opposed to just having it in store sit there for, you know, 6 to 12 months and nobody buy it. But that's cash converters. So, and my LED light has just gone off. Let's see. Yep. Oh yeah, battery's dying on that. All right. But yeah, I am a small game collector. I have one bookshelf worth of sort of retro video games, and I typically collect games from the 6th generation. So, 6th and 5th, then 7th. Yeah, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Not that I have anything wrong with, I have nothing against, like Super Nintendo or Mega Drive or Genesis, or NES or Master System or anything like that. Just not something that I grew up playing. A lot of those 2D, 8-bit or 16-bit games, I've never found to be any good at them, and so I've kind of unfairly written them off as something that I'm just not really interested in at the moment. They can change, but at this stage I've found that I'm not really that keen on it, and that's okay. I grew up with early 3D games, so for me, N64, Nintendo GameCube, those were the systems that I grew up with, and they were part of my childhood. But yeah, I was born in 96, so, you know, I'm not as old, or old enough to, like, appreciate those earlier generations. So the closest thing that I do have for all those things is the mini versions of those consoles, the classic versions, where you could plug it in through HDMI. It's got 20 games, 30 games already loaded on there, and, you know, you can play it if you feel like it. So if I do ever want to play it, fuck me, I screwed this up so badly. Last lap 2. Alright, well, yeah, if I do ever get the itch to play those games, like, I do have those classic, like the Super Nintendo Classic. Jesus Christ, I'm fucking awful. I do have a Super Nintendo Classic, or NES Classic, or the Mega Drive Genesis Classic. That was rubbish. Oh, never again. But, yeah. I hope that maybe one day I'll get into it, but at the moment, not something I'm interested in. But yeah, I'm very nostalgic for, like, N64, GameCube, that sort of stuff. Did I get first? I didn't even realize. Jesus, I might have fucked it on that last one. Hey, it is. No, I just saw the chat. My lovely partner has asked if I want the fan. No, I'd rather be stonken, I think. Alright. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's get a monkey and a human. Alright, Star Cup. So I mainly sort of grew up on Nintendo consoles growing up. I never really had an interest in Sony or Microsoft. It was always Nintendo consoles, so Started with the N64, then moved on to the GameCube, and then the Wii. And then the first time I got the itch to try another one, try a different console, was when I was a teenager. A lot of my friends were playing PlayStation 3 at the time. And one big game that was coming out at the time was Call of Duty. And Call of Duty is another sort of guilty pleasure that I have. Because I do find it's mindless fun, but it's still dumb and like a very unfair game to play in general. But I still enjoy it because it is dumb fun. Fuck me. Great. This was fucking terrific. But yeah, so the first time I got the itch was to buy a PS3, and that was like 09, I'm gonna say. Actually, no, 2010. Yeah, I bought a PS3 in 2010, so I bought the first slim model that they brought out, which is sort of the better version of the PS3. But they obviously took out the PlayStation 2 backwards compatibility by then, which was a shame, which would actually come in handy for recording and streaming and things like that, but not much you can do about that. But yeah, PS3 was the first time I sort of jumped ship to Sony. And ever since then, I've actually kind of stuck with Sony. After that, I bought a PS4. I skipped the Wii U. And then jumped back in, bought a Switch. And then, yeah, started actually getting into retro game collecting. Probably around 2017, 2018. I started looking into sort of smaller, or sort of things that I grew up playing. I wanted the things from my childhood that I had since lost, which was, one of them was the N64, which we no longer had. And for some reason was broken or something. Broken in air quotes. I have no idea what was actually wrong with it because I was a 7-year-old and I didn't understand technology. Probably nothing was wrong with it because I haven't heard of too many N64s to be like, or just to have sort of technical issues. I just remember Dad saying, "Oh, he's taken it to repairs 3 times. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to take it anymore." So we just left it broken. I don't know what the issue was with it. All I can remember is that just no video signal would come out to the TV. So I don't know if it was a console or if it was like the VCR that we used to plug it into or the TV itself. I don't know, because I'm skeptical about if there was actually any issues with that N64. And if the Dick Smith that my dad used to take the console to get repaired was just taking him for a ride. They're taking $80 off him every time. But yeah, I wanted to sort of collect. I don't know why the fuck I did that. I wanted to collect the consoles that I no longer had. So N64 was one of them, and I wanted to get the games that I used to have, which was Perfect Dark, Super Mario 64, Donkey Kong 64, Beetle Adventure Racing, and Mario Kart 64. All terrific games. I mean, DK64 I know people hate, but I mean, for me that's another guilty pleasure. I love DK64, even though I know it's bad. Like, I know it hasn't aged well, or even at the time it wasn't particularly great. But I grew up playing it, so I have a soft spot for it. Oh, god damn it. Fuck. But yeah, it was N64, and it was the PSP, actually. Oh, so I guess it wasn't... PS3 wasn't the first time I jumped to Sony. I did have a PSP. I guess home console PS3 was the first time I jumped to Sony. But I did have a PSP. Around, I'm going to say... 07, 06. I'm going to say around then. And I remember my dad got it for me for Christmas, and I really wanted a copy of SmackDown vs. Raw 2006, I'm gonna say. Well, 2007, actually. Yeah, I really wanted SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. It had just come out. I knew that I had a PSP now because those games were never on Nintendo consoles. The SmackDown vs. Raw series, it was only PS2 and obviously PSP and yeah, probably 360 or original Xbox. Actually, no, just 360. But yeah, I never had those, so when I got the PSP, even though it was a handheld version, I was still kind of like, fuck yes, I really want like that game. But I never told my dad that. It was just something in my head. So he ended up bringing home a copy of Medieval, the PS1 game, and a PSP 1000 model. So it was the first model. PSP fat, essentially. But funny thing about that was he, because the game was sealed. So my dad obviously didn't think to like unwrap it and check if the game was in there. So when I opened it up on Christmas, no game in there, no UMD. So my dad was dumbfounded, and he was like, "Right, we're going straight to the Harvey Norman that I bought this from, and we're gonna figure out what the fuck happened." So he took me as well. I don't know why he took me. I think he just took me as proof that he had bought this for his child. Therefore, he needed to extract some refund or some sort of like compromise from poor retail staff who had to deal with my dad. Like angry on whatever it was. It was probably like Christmas Day or no, it wasn't Christmas Day actually. It would have been like Boxing Day or something like that. Might have been. But yeah, he went there first thing in the morning, brought me with him, and proceeded to sort of kind of be a bit of a Karen, a little bit. I will admit my dad did sort of have that a little bit about him, at least from what I remember. But you know, rightfully so. He was a little. It was kind of shitty. It's like you expect to buy a game and it's sealed, like sealed in shrink wrap, but you bring it home and it's like fucking empty for your child on Christmas. Like that's kind of shitty. So I would be pissed as well because I'd be like, what the fuck happened? So fair enough. But what ended up happening was apparently the worker that sold it to my dad had just stolen it, and it also left that Harvey Norman like a week prior. So he had just nicked it, and I don't know why. He must have been doing this for a lot of games. Who knows? If that was the only game that he nicked, but my dad was just the unlucky one. Who knows? But yeah, he just nicked a PSP copy of Medieval, which is really strange. But I guess he knew he could get away with it because he was leaving anyway. And also, it was in shrink wrap, and he probably knew that it was going to be a Christmas present for some child. I.e. me. But, yeah, that's what ended up happening. So, lucky me, I guess. But it was all good. They just gave me another copy of Medieval. But I remember seeing a copy of SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 on the shelf. And the other retail staff were kind of like telling my dad, it's like, look, we can give you another game in exchange for the one that you didn't get. And my dad was kind of like, no, I want the game that I paid for. But I was kind of, in my head, I was kind of like, oh, just take the SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 on the shelf, please. But no, that didn't end up happening. I ended up getting that game for my birthday, actually, so it didn't matter in the end. And I got a skateboard as well. It's weird looking back on birthday and Christmas presents when you're back when you're a child, because when you sort of retell those stories now, it just kind of comes off as sort of spoilt. At least in my eyes, anyway. Maybe I was. But who knows? I feel like a lot of people got game consoles or electronics or video games for Christmas, so, or birthdays. So I don't know. It maybe doesn't differ from everyone, but if you grew up in a, I guess, comfortable sort of household, maybe it's the norm. Not that we were rich or anything. We were just like, I'd say we were comfortable. I wouldn't say we were foolproof from going broke. Especially with my dad running a business. But, oh well. It's all in the past anyway. And I believe this is the last track on all those 3 cups. Well, would you look at that, eh? Fuck me. I could not get a fucking first place to save my life. A lot of seconds and thirds. There she is. An ugly brown trophy. Well, I think that is gonna wrap things up here for Mario Kart Double Dash on the Nintendo GameCube. I hope you've all enjoyed. And please, if you haven't already, subscribe to Restless. I'm going to be uploading, or at least trying to be consistent as I can in the near future with content. So if you are interested in wrestling video game content, or any other sort of shit that I make in between, and if you enjoy it, subscribe. Or tell a friend, who knows. They might be interested in it too. But thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.